Happy Monday! Boys are on their way to go do a nice meditation at the World Peace Pagoda. So an extra dose of peace coming out today. Very much looking forward to it. And this beautiful environment that I get to do it in. How's these mountain ranges? And quickly set up for a little morning meditation situation. Okay, here I am at the World Peace Pagoda, and I'm about to do a 1 hour session, I think. I'm pretty sure it'll be a 1 hour session. And then I'm going to record a video to explain my experience of Vipassana. And it's probably going to be quite long, so let's get comfortable. I normally actually start my meditations with my feet like this. I've been stretching them out. These pants I'm wearing are a little bit tight. So let's see how I can sit for the sitting, stretch out a little bit, and then get into meditation. But I have been practicing stretching my legs so they can be touching the ground. But let's get into this meditation. Namaste. Here I sit at the World Peace Pagoda after a lovely 1 hour meditation session, meditating on peace, peace for the world, peace for the people that are doing the hunger protest or hunger strike in Kathmandu for the legalization of cannabis. My heart is with you. And I wanted to use this as an opportunity to share about the experience that I had at Vipassana. The first video that I made that I took on the day of breaking noble silence on day 10 was a video sharing what was taught to us. And now I would like to share how I encountered all of this and how I experienced all of this. and it might be a little bit of a long video, so if you want to listen. It should be quite a fun story. And I'm just going to speak from the heart. I haven't really planned this speech, so I don't know how long it's going to be and what I'm going to say exactly, but I trust God to guide my thoughts and guide my mouth. So the story, I think I should start with when I got the seed of Dharma, or when I was introduced to Vipassana for the first time. It was when I was in India, for my first trip to India in 2017. I went to go and visit the global Pagoda Vipassana, basically like the Vipassana headquarters of Mumbai pretty much, where it has this massive gold pagoda as a tourist attraction to bring people to just come and check it out and possibly be introduced to Dharma. Well done, Goenka. It worked on me and I was introduced to Vipassana. I remember walking into the big meditation hall. I think they have like an 8,000 people meditation hall, and walking into this meditation hall, and then there was a section of the meditation hall that you could not go into. So it was like this area for the 10-day meditators only. And I was like, this is a meditation course. And took some photos. There were some really, really cool friends of mine that like Brazilians and people from South America. It was really, really rad. And essentially that was the first time I basically heard pretty much the word Vipassana. And I think that's what I like to identify as me receiving the seed. But I think the seed was put into my hand, and I was yet to plant the seed into the ground. And about 7 or 6 years later, I took that seed and I put it into the ground. Quite fertile ground with some watering. And that would be what I would say is my first Vipassana sitting, which I did last year in June, ended on the June 18th of last year at the Dharma Pitaka Center in Worcester. What an experience that was. Extremely challenging, just like this second one that I did. So coming to Dharma Shringa in Kathmandu, Nepal, I decided to put myself on a pilgrimage to get to the Vipassana sitting, and then obviously do the Vipassana sitting as a part of the pilgrimage. So that is what my agenda was for this trip, and I'm very happy to say that I have completed my pilgrimage and now I'm on travel mode. But what I'm finding is that the aftermath of Vipassana number 2 has been quite powerful. I actually had the deepest meditation of my life so far on the Thursday night after coming out of Vipassana, which I'll get to pretty much at the end of the story. But coming to Vipassana, day 1, getting to Vipassana, it was the Sunday, the 14th of July. And I went from the 14th of July till the 25th of July. So that's the sitting that I just did. So you get on the Sunday, you hand your bags in, you hand all your stuff in, and then you can go and chill in your room for the rest of the day. And then that evening, you come together for dinner time. And that will be the last dinner for a second-time student. I was a second-time student, which they don't give you dinner. They just give you lemon water at night. So essentially, you are intermittent fasting for 16 hours every single day, because you have your first meal at 6:30, and then you have your second meal at 11:30 or 11, and then by 11:30 you would have done eating for the whole day, which is really cool. So that your stomach can be empty for your evening and afternoon sessions, and not digesting food and not thinking about that and not spending energy on that. It's just using it for meditation. So day 1, morning of day 1, going into the evening before, they allocate your seats, and I was allocated the front left seat. I think I was the first person to register for this course. My registration number was M102, and I was the first student, male student and old students to be registered. So I had front left, I1. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I was I1, and then I had the Guruji, the one Guruji sitting right in front of me, and then the one assistant teacher sitting right over here. So for the first 3 days, I had one little mat pillow, like a 1 by 1 meter square, and then one little pillow on top of that. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be deep. Because in the Dharma Pitaka, they give you a big mat pillow and then another mat pillow on top of that, and then a big square, more supportive, rigid pillow, and then you can add other pillows on top of that. So I would have that rigid pillow, and then another pillow on top of that, and then a pillow under each leg over here to give me support. And that's what made the Dharma Pitaka in South Africa a little bit more comfortable than the Dharma Shringa. So Dharma Shringa was a definite physical challenge for me to endure, sitting with absolutely no back support, which I had back support in the Dharma Pitaka, no back support, and so basically sitting on the ground for 4 days. And that fourth day was my hump day. That was my make or break day, but I'll get to that. So first day sitting, obviously first day is normally quite a challenging one because you're experiencing pain for the first time, not having sat in a while. If you are going to do Vipassana, I would recommend stretching out your legs before going as much as you can. When you do so, my legs are a bit stiff now because I've just sat for an hour. But you would sit with your feet together like this and then start stretching your legs out and bouncing. But yeah, stretch your legs out like that before you go as much as you can. So day one was very difficult with pain, and then day two it was getting a bit worse. I would take my pillows, I got extra 1 or 2, 3 pillows, put them in the middle and straddle them like a horse, having one leg on each side just to try and make the pain more bearable. And I was changing posture every 15-20 minutes, like from sitting cross-legged to sitting like that, just to alleviate the pain. And then at the end of day two, or middle of day two, I actually went to the Guruji and I said, I'm actually experiencing quite a lot of pain. And at the back of the hall they have the old men all sitting on these little benches. They're about 20 centimeters off the ground, and they're like these metal structures, and then you have a meditation pillow on top of that, and then a little backrest and stuff. So I saw these benches, and I went to the Guruji, and my specific question was, can I get one of those benches? And he said, yes, you can, but let's first talk about it. So I said, okay, well, I'm just experiencing quite a lot of pain in my hips, a lot of pain in my knees, and I had a bit of a motorcycle accident a month ago, so my one knee is a little bit sore because of that, a little bit more tender. And he's like, okay, I see. A motorbike accident, okay, I see. And then he said, sometimes the pain that we are experiencing through the meditations is as a result of your past karmas that are coming around, and it's pain that you need to work through. So we can grant you this bench, but we would like to ask if you would possibly be able to work your way through the pain and try and basically detach yourself from the pain. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I will try this. I will try and remove the pain, and I'll try work through the pain. So for another 2 days I worked through the pain, and then on that fourth day I went to the 1 till 2 o'clock pre-meditations or meditation session. We have group meditation from 2:30 till 3:30. So the 1:30 till 2:30, 1:30 till the 1 till 2 session is optional. You can do in your room or you can do it in the Dharma hall. I was in the Dharma hall. If I had known it was an optional session, I would have done it in my room. But I went to the Dharma hall from 1 until 2, and then we had a short little break, and then it's 2:30 till 3:30 is a group sitting, and then 3:30 until 5 is receiving instruction and meditation. And that was when we received the Vipassana instruction, because it was halfway through day 4. So for the first 3.5 days, remember, you do Anapana meditation. So this is halfway through day 4, you get the Vipassana instruction. So that takes about 45 minutes to get that instruction. They explain to you how to do the whole meditation, and this is how you will be doing it going forward. And then after that session, that was 4 hours of me sitting, and that was me getting close to tapping out. I was like, I don't know if I can do this, which is this doubt that comes up. It's crazy how this doubt comes at you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I've done this before. I know I've done Vipassana before, but I haven't done it without this back support and da-da-da-da-da-da. So that night on the 4th, I went to the Guruji and I asked him, I'm like, please, can I get this bench? And I think because I had such an excruciating day and was moving around so much in my meditations, and this Guruji sits right in front of me, and then the assistant teacher sits right over here, so they were watching obviously the whole time how I'm busy sitting in pain and monitoring it, I think, because I can get your bench. And then that night, the assistant teacher says, yes, you'll have it after your discourse. So we leave the hall to go to a different room for the discourse. And when I left the room to go to the discourse, the one assistant teacher came up to me, and he was like, as if God spoke to him, but he was like, you are allowed to lean against the wall if you want. And there are signs everywhere saying, do not lean against the wall, be happy. Do not lean against the wall, be happy. So you may not lean against the walls. They're like to me, because my pillow was pretty close to a pillar. And like, if you want, you can put your pillow next to that pillar and you can rest your back against the pillow. And I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I think the Guruji went and spoke to the assistant teacher and said, this man is in a lot of pain, he's got a lot of pain over here, and he pointed to over here. So I think they just allowed for me to just have a little break type of thing. And that really, because I was like really thinking, am I really going to sit here now for another 6 days and get myself through this, and now start doing body scans of this pain that I'm busy going through. So I was very relieved to be able to lean my back against the wall for the discourse session, which is listening to Goenka speak for an hour. And then after that, you got to go back to the hall just for like a short, like 10-minute meditation just before the end of the night, end of the night. And when I walked back to the end of the hall, I saw that they said, you'll have your bench after discourse, and the bench wasn't there. I'm like, come on, man, the bench wasn't here, but I can do another 20 meditation without the bench. I'm not going to insist on having it now. I'll just do this one last session without the bench as well. And then after that session was done, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go get my own bench, because these guys aren't bringing me a bench. I don't know where they are, so I went to go get one. And then as I'm busy bringing it in, the one other assistant teacher, he stops me. He's like, no, you can't just take this. I'm like, no, dude, I've spoken to the Guruji, and he's given me permission. And he's like, oh, okay, then you can take it. So then I went and put it there, front left, where I was sitting, put my bench down there, put my pillows on it, and then call it a night, go and have a shower, jump in bed, and fall asleep. Next morning, I wake up to do my day 5. I walk into that meditation hall. I look at my seat, bench is gone. And I'm like, you must be kidding. What now? But then I looked in my peripheral vision, I saw this meditation cushion that I'm busy sitting on, or my neck pillow. I saw it in my bottom left corner, and I saw, oh, they moved my bench to the back of the row. And there's my neck pillow, so that's my bench. And I1 was there, so I'm like, okay, cool. They literally just moved me to the back of the room, so they obviously just didn't want your front row students to be sitting on benches and all the benches at the back. So they moved everyone one forward, and they moved me to the back. So this means I'm not sitting now right in front of the guru. I'm not sitting right in front of the teacher. So that was quite a big relief to get that bench. And then when I sat in that bench for the first time, I just sat down and I was like, oh yes, I can definitely do this. This is way more comfortable, way more tolerable. So basically on day 4, I had to have my flesh and my soul were having negotiations. They were like, okay, we can do this. You can do this. My soul was like, you can do this. My spirit was like, you can do this. My flesh was like, okay, I can do this on condition. 1, we get a bench. And 2, for every session that they say, you can choose to either do your meditation in your Dharma hall, or you can do it in your residence, or you can do it in your allotted cell. If you're a second-time student, you get given a little cell. It's like this wide, black room, little cushion on the floor, close the door, pretty much darkness and silence. I went one session to go look at that cell, didn't even use it as a session. I looked at the cell, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to be doing the cell this time. Maybe next time, but no cell sittings for me. So every single time I had the option, I went to go and do the sitting in my room. And maybe I would sit on my bed sometimes I think the best was like half an hour sitting on my bed meditating. But 95% of the time, I went to my bed and I lay down and slept. And I didn't meditate during those sessions. So that was like 2 sessions a day that I just slept. That was like, okay, if you have the option to do so, then it's your own free choice to meditate how you want to meditate, So I pretty much made it more lenient for myself in that regard, and making it like kind of more bearable. And those 2 conditions made me know that I can definitely do this now. My self-doubt was all gone, and then I was like, okay, now I'm just going to endure the 4:30 until 6:30 session, then the 8 until 9, and then the quick little discourses that I would receive, and then the 5 until 6. The 2 until 3 so there's 3 group sittings that you have to be in the hall for. So I did all of those. So I did about 5 hours of meditation a day in the Dharma hall, and then some in my room as well, and then also some resting in my room. And then it was just waiting and watching the days tick on by, progressing in the meditations, getting deeper and deeper. Obviously the time of silence, no talking and no cell phones and stuff, your mind really does slow down a lot. And you really do get to beautiful, beautiful, peaceful places of stillness in your mind. And then doing your body scans, just observing the sensations that are coming up and down as your thoughts are coming in, and how you're reacting to thoughts and how long are you going to react to thoughts. And trying to find this ultimate stillness in it all was definitely a beautiful, beautiful thing to experience. And then coming till almost the last few days of having almost no how can I say this? I was just basically counting down the time so I can be let out of that place. And I knew that it was coming every single day. I was like, okay, cool, today's day 7, that means tomorrow is day 8. So tomorrow there's going to be 2 days left, and then the next day today is day 8, that means tomorrow is day 9, that means there's 1 day left pretty much. And yeah, every night obviously having discourses, and I was very awakened, opletent, or attention was given to my discourses. In my first Vipassana I was quite drowsy and tired during my discourses, so watching these discourses I was like, whoa. So I got a really nice enrichment of understanding and wisdom of the process and everything, and why we do what we do, and understanding the chants that Goenka is busy chanting to us. So that was great to really experience those discourses. Discourse, like I said, day 8 discourse is really powerful. So if you ever want to just watch one of the discourses, watch day 8. Go find the day 8 English discourse, go watch it on YouTube. It's like an hour long. And then, making it till day 10 when we break noble silence and be able to chat to all our friends, and just really, really, like I made that video on day 10, so I was really, the vibes that I was busy feeling like that. And then getting let out on day 11. But they still keep you for a morning sitting on the last day, like day 11. You do, you wake you up at 4 o'clock, you sit from 4:30 till 5:30, and then you do a discourse from 5:30 till 6:30. Then you have breakfast, and then they give you your cell phone back, and then you can leave. But you can also stay and do Dharma service until 12 o'clock. I was like, sorry guys, I'm out of here, But afterwards I'm like, I should have actually just done Dharma service. But luckily at my homestay that I was staying in afterwards, I messaged them saying, hey guys, can I meet you at a coffee shop afterwards? Because apparently it's quite difficult to find your house. I'm coming through for Vipassana, and I need to find a way to get to your house after my Vipassana, So coming out of Vipassana, I'm just trying to ask guys for a mobile hotspot to see if I can just get some signal, so I can find out if these guys responded on saying which coffee shop I must go to, and if I must jump on the bus to go down the hill or what. And as I'm busy trying to get all this stuff out, I just hear, Nathan! And I look up, and there's one guy that I have no idea who this guy is. Like, you Nathan? I'm like, yeah dude, but like, who are you pretty much, And he's like, you come to my homestay, And I'm like, oh, no ways, this guy came and fetched me, So the owner of the homestay came and fetched me at Vipassana on his motorbike, me and my like 50 kilograms of travel luggage. I think I got like a 20 kg big back bag, and then my normal travel bag as well, which is about 7 or 8 kg. So I'm a heavy traveler, So me and him on his little bike going downhill first, but then having to go uphill to get to his place. I literally had to get off his bike once, twice, so you can go up the steep parts. Anyway, so getting back to his house. Now I'm just going to be talking about a little bit of the aftermath of Vipassana, because when I was actually talking to Josh, I told him I think I only had like a 20 to 30% growth on this Vipassana, because I was slacking a little bit with my Vipassana hours and stuff, but maybe there's going to be a bit more growth happening afterwards, Wow, little did I know. Okay, when I get to this Vipassana homestay, when I get to my homestay after Vipassana, I look in the garden, and I'm in like this little semi-residential, semi-agricultural area. There's like rice paddies and chickens and stuff walking around there, and they grow their veggies in the garden and stuff. And I see these massive cannabis plants, and I'm like, guys, what are these for? And then the English is very bad, so I'm like, what do you grow this for? Like, what do you use it for? Are you making it for smoking, or are you making it for, what are you making it for? And the guy's like, smoking type of stuff, and then he's like, do you want some? I'm like, because I'm not going to go rushing looking for weed after Vipassana. I don't mind. I just did a week before Vipassana and the Vipassana of not smoking. But if I can smoke, great. If I don't smoke, I'm not going to be rushing for it, But now there's pretty much, I'm like, now it's at my hostel. at my homestay. So this guy gives me some weed, actually. But it's literally just leaves and sticks that are crushed down. I'm like, there's no flower here, man. This is not flower. So I actually rolled it up. And I smoked it, but I didn't feel high at all. And I'm like super, super sensitive now after coming out of Vipassana. I think maybe I got like a
0.1% high or 1% high, feeling a little bit, but nothing really. And then, long story short, it was the Thursday that I got out. That Thursday night was my first optional Vipassana sitting, where all the other ones were obligatory because I was at the Vipassana. This one was, I didn't have to do that sitting. They do recommend you do 1 hour of sitting in the morning, 1 hour sitting at the night. And I'm like, it's my first night out. I haven't meditated the whole day now, or I meditated in the morning, but now it's been the whole day of not meditating. It's my first time not meditating for the whole day. I actually kind of want to meditate. The neighbor managed to get some other weed for me. Weed that actually had trichomes on it. When I was taking the seeds out, I could feel stickiness on my fingers. So I'm like, there's trichomes on this weed. So I rolled up a joint of that, smoked that, and then had a fat chat with the owners of the family and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to bed now. And that was like 10:30 or something. I'm like, I smoked like half an hour, 45 minutes ago. I am feeling the buzz, feeling the bud. I'm going to do a sitting, maybe just a 20-minute sitting just before the end of the night. I ended up like, no, I think I'm just going to do a 1 hour sitting. Put on a 1 hour sitting. The 1992 recorded Dharma Giri of Goenka taking through a leaded meditation. It's called the long instruction, but there's actually only 3 sentences throughout the whole meditation pretty much. And that was the beginning of my deepest meditation I've ever experienced in my life. Obviously with the weed kind of tuning you more into your senses, I got super locked into a very, very deep meditative state of like sitting in a perfect posture, not moving, and becoming this deep sense of oneness, sending my attention from my head into my body. And when you do your Vipassana the second time, they say now instead of just going a sweep flow, sweeping down all the time from head to feet and from feet to head, you're allowed to send your attention left and right as well into different parts of your body. And I basically felt like I was looking like a ping pong ball on the inside of my body that had a light on the inside of this ping pong ball, and just bouncing all over the inside of my body, and then uncovering this element of my body and this element of my body and outlining it, And then I can only explain to be like a smoke machine with lasers. Smoke machine on psh, and you see all the smoke, and then the lasers is like the outline of my body. As I'm busy scanning this like this, I'm seeing the outline of my body, and then my attention is on the inside of my body, and I felt like I was literally on the inside of this massive chest chasm of a statue. I'm inside this massive statue which is inside my body, and then doing the body scans, but then sending my attention to different parts of my body, like this ping pong ball going everywhere, and unlocking this laser outline of my body, and then starting with the proper body scans of like a scan machine, like a light that's busy going left to right, scanning my body, like very, very deep body scans, going all the way down, and then seeing this outline of this smoke figurine type of thing with this lasers. And then what almost seemed like the smoke starts dissipating, like on a dance floor when there is less and less smoke, and the lasers are only catching a little bit less of the light. So this smoke starts dissipating, and what I can only explain to you is almost if you take like a glass of hot water and you put salt in it, or you put sugar in it, let's say sugar is sweet, and you stir the sugar and then it starts dissolving into the water, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's no longer salt crystals, but it's in the water, That's what I kind of felt. I felt like my body almost completely dissolved. And then that was when I had that ultimate deep state of oneness, where I wasn't moving, I was just like one with God, one with the universe, one with everything. I was like, this is by far, afterwards I'm like, this is the deepest I've ever got in my life. And I was just kind of staying there in that moment for as long as I could. Profoundly deep meditation. And I'm like, this is accessible, oh my goodness, this is within every single one of us. So let's say my aftermath of Vipassana was very enriching. This is where I did like 80%, 90% growth just in this meditation alone. The next morning I had a similar morning meditation. Woke up at 4:30 the morning after Vipassana, which it's so crazy because I've been waking up at 4 o'clock every single morning for the last couple of days, and that morning I had to wake up at 5:30 to go take a bus to get to Pokhara, which I am now. But I wanted to wake up an hour earlier so that I can do my meditation, and I did. I woke up an hour earlier. These people that I was staying at, they had a God room where they had a Buddha room, pretty much a room where you can meditate in. So I went and sat in there and did my morning meditation. and I also got extremely deep in that meditation too. So just really progressing in my daily meditation. Still going to try and maintain an hour in the morning, an hour at night. Some mornings I have done 20 minutes or 20 minutes in the evening when I haven't made the time for the hour, but technically you can always make an hour if you really want it bad enough. And then also just stretching my legs out better and better, making sure I'm holding my posture, and just continuing with this beautiful art of living with Dharma in my life. So just a real deep spiritual connection with God, feeling God within me, feeling God outside of me as well, and continuing with this beautiful journey, this beautiful quest to find truth, and finding it more and more and more and more and more, and just ever so peaceful, so harmonious, and so happy. It's like we're allowed to live like this. We're allowed to be happy all the time. We just need to have control over our thoughts, control over our ego, and it can be attained. So I think I'm going to leave this video there at that for now. I'm not actually allowed to record videos here, but I was taking a time lapse and I just took this video quickly. I've got my mic on here, so hopefully you guys heard this loud and clear. But what a beautiful session this was. Namaste.